You'll fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. It's Alfred Stoddart, and we got him here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event.
Live from HBF Stadium Festival Hall. Melbourne Pavilion. Not even backstage, we're literally outside.
Was that the best fight card in Australian MMA history?
Call me crazy, but make sure you call me when I'm right.
Be good at the Aussie MMA Instagram page and give us a bit of glow up because
Welcome to the Australian MMA podcast. My name is Mitch Tinley, and today's guest is none other than Alfred Stoddart. He's a man that we've had on since he started his pro career. He started his pro career. We've basically talked to him before every fight he's ever had. The highs and lows. And look, he came out talking big when he was an amateur, and he said, I want to fight like Darcy Vendy and Cam Rouston and Kid Cam, all these guys. And it all happened. Like John Martin Fraser, he often jumped into the fire long before he was quote unquote ready, and he's kind of made a bit of a name for himself for just sort of being able to fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. And he's taking on Jackson Weir White. That was originally, I believe, scheduled for 77 kilos, so he's a middleweight. He's coming down to sort of see how he goes, because he was recently a middleweight and amassed a 4-4 record. Like I said, absolute all killers, and like multiple and former world champions in there. So don't let that record fool you. But yeah, he was going to drop down to 77 again and take on Jackson Weir White, but bit of a weight management issue or something is going to force the fight to be at about 80 kilos. So we get Alfred Stoddart's thoughts on that. And he's one of the smartest fighters going around as well, just the way he intellectually breaks it all down. He talks his unique way of cutting weight, and he really almost seems like a master at it at times. And he kind of goes into his thoughts on like water loading and if you should do it. And it's very insightful chat with Alfred Stoddart. He doesn't get credit for just how smart he actually is. And just talking about sort of the psychology of fighting and when to call it quits, and celebrity fighters, as he calls them. Just always love how he breaks it down. And he talks the talk, and he definitely walks the walk as well. So look, on the other side, I'm going to hear from our friends that just help the podcast kind of get on track and get happening for you. Our gym partners at Drillich Combat Academy, and of course Vex MMA. And guys, very special, before I let you go, this bad boy, Australian MMA, issue 1, with Quillan Southfield on the cover. It's pretty cool. Kept that one secret. That's been in the pipeline for about 6 months. So head on over to shop.australianmma.com.au. Pre-order goes on sale, like release date June 18th, but you can pre-order it now, and I very much appreciate it, because I've got to buy them and then I've got to give them to you guys. So it bloody helps. So if you want a magazine or you just want to find out more, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you let us know what you think of the show, and do everything you can do to help us out. Other than that, guys, on the other side, he's fighting June 21st at Eternal MMA 96 against Jackson Weir White. It's Alfred Stoddart. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the show at what seems to be like a Japanese restaurant, it's Alfred Stoddart. Welcome.
Yeah, totally. Hard work making weight.
What are you doing?
Making weight.
What do
you think I'm doing?
Are you fighting at 170 now? And you normally a middleweight?
Yeah. Apparently I'm fighting at 80. So.
Oh, is that breaking news?
I thought that shit got announced a while ago, but yeah.
So
I hope that got announced.
Taking on Jackson Weir White was supposed to be at 77 kilos. Why did it go up to a bit more of a catch weight? Because I know that you're trying to work your way down from middleweight.
I have no idea. I think Cam told me maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe last week. No, it was 2 weeks ago. That
Cam O'Neill, Eternal Cam.
Yeah, he's like, Jackson says he can't make weight. You might not be able to make the weight at 77. Can we do a catch weight? And I was like,
how come? That's so far out.
It's like, I know, that's what I'm saying. But I appreciate him not David Martinez-ing the situation. Just waiting till actually wait in and just. I'm like, okay, fine.
Do you appreciate
Yeah.
that? Do you appreciate that more? Because you kind of are giving the inclination that you're not calling bullshit, but you just think it's a bit weird to do it so far out. But do you appreciate that more than someone doing it day of?
Yeah, because it's like when people do it day of, they realize it's really hard to pull out of a fight,
Mm.
especially if you do it right after the person's already made weight. Because it's like you have a very vivid memory of like probably one of the worst parts of the fight camp happening like 20 minutes ago. You were like barely able to stand. And now someone's basically being like, hey, do you want to either make that worth something by punching me in the face, or you want to worth nothing at all? And it's like, mm, fine, I'll fight.
Ah.
It's a tactic. People do it on purpose for sure. Otherwise, like most people's weight cuts, especially in the pro level, they know if they're gonna make weight at least a fight week. So no one's ever having any surprise. Oh my God, I couldn't make it. No, they know days in advance for
So
sure.
it,
It's never.
is there ill will then with Jackson, or are you all good?
No, at least he lets me know like fucking weeks in advance, and I started eating and got back up to middleweight way too quickly, and then had to go back down again. But yeah, that was the only thing. It was just like it was confusing, is what it was. There was no ill will. It was just like I'm like 3 weeks out. How can you not cut 3 kilos? Like
Hmm.
it wasn't like he was asking to make it a middleweight fight. He was asking for like a 3 kilo cut added to it. It's like how heavy do you have to be that it's a struggle to come down 3 extra kilos in 4 weeks or 3 weeks?
Do you
Like
because he's fought at 77 before.
that's the thing. So I'm like, he must have already started so heavy that where he was out 3 weeks out, he looked at the scale and said, it's still too hard to come down to 77, which that would mean like the window is like 90, like Connor Down plus 90. So he'd have to have looked at that scale and looked at it, and it would have had to have said way more than 90. Enough that he would have struggled cutting down to 90 kilos for fight week, which is wild.
Do you think maybe he's hurt?
Most likely, like I think that'll be probably one of the only things, being hurt. But then again, I don't ever get the hurt excuse, because it's like, what, you got hurt and then you decided to start eating? Oh no, oh no, my knee hurts.
Mm.
Ice cream, cheeseburgers, croquettes. They're so
Well,
much more delectable now that my leg hurts.
did you? Well, that is true. And you don't have the punishment of like training, because it's like you can't eat like a big like meat pie or something and then go to sparring, like it'll hurt.
No, I'd understand that if we were like one fight amateurs, but we're supposed to be professional athletes here.
Yeah.
Oh no, I couldn't skip a snack or two.
Did you
What are we doing?
did you talk to him though? Is it customary to reach out?
I reached out once I thought the fight was going to be called off. I started getting like stir crazy and like panicky. I was like running around, messaging Cam a billion times, trying to get a response. Eventually tried messaging him on his actual Instagram, couldn't get to it. And then went to the DMs of our fight pick and like put an emoji on both him and Compton's DMs, like, yo, what's going on? And then he like responded like, "Oh, you good?" I'm like, "Am I good? Are you good?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm good." I'm like, "Great, yay!" Got right back into motivation, fighting again.
Wow.
That was a weird week.
So you didn't talk like you didn't ask him why or anything like that.
Nah, his DMs are closed, and I didn't want to be like asking you why on random chats and Instagram comments.
Hmm.
But I'll probably ask. I don't really care now. Like as long as the fight's now set, I'm like, my stir craziness was like at 10 when it first happened, and then when I started thinking about the possibility the fight would be called off, I was like, you know how hard I trained. Also, do you know how hard I've been dieting to bring it down? I really haven't been trying that hard.
Do you
But,
like that
yeah.
though? That you were middleweight and now the fight's at 80, so it's a little bit slower than just going straight to 77?
I would have made 77 easy. I would have woke up on weight. Even with all this, I would have woke up on.
Well, you've done
My
it
weight cut-
before.
Yeah, my weight cutting methodology is excellente. I'm gonna sell that shit at some point when I finally finish this career, and that's actually what's gonna make me my money. I've had multiple fighters be like, "How are you doing that?" And I'm like, My Dolce diet's coming soon. Don't worry about it.
How are you doing it? Also, no one ever hears from Dolce anymore, so I've always wondered that where he went. But what are you doing that's special?
I play with a bunch of different random parts of the body that the body does to lose weight. I just People drink the excess water, the like water loading, to get rid of excess water in your system by tricking your body to pee it out. I just get rid of it way more gradually and way more naturally, so my body comes down over the course of fight week. I'm trying to keep it cagey so people don't steal my idea, but like it's worked for me every single time, and then it's worked for my teammates who are also fighters, and it's worked for anyone who I've got to do it, even when they've had like really close cuts where it's like this is looking pretty bad, and I'm like, just follow this, and they followed it, and my teammate is shredded, like Mateo. He's got no fat on him whatsoever, so for him losing weight even in saunas, it's a struggle. But I got him to wake up on that, like at 77, and he walks around as like a completely lean 85 kilos, like nothing, and he woke up one way.
So
And then he stopped listening to me, and he had to start struggling again. Oh.
So you don't drink water, is what you're telling me?
Oh, I drink water. I've eaten an entire kilo's worth of pork ribs and cut from 94 kilos and woke up on weight for the John Mon Fraser fight, got back up to 90.
Jeez.
Yeah.
How'd you get
No
so good
ill
at that?
effects. Yeah, I did a whole bunch of really dumb test cuts and kept like experimenting with my body throughout COVID. The really stupid way. Like, cut weight for no reason whatsoever. And then I'm a pretty analytical person, so I want to figure when I was doing the water load and I was trying to research like what the mechanism was. And at some point during the whole explanation of water loading, it just goes to like, and then you just wake up and you're underweight. I'm like, but why? And they're like, you just do. I'm like, you're saying words, but you're not defining what we're doing here. And then I started looking up the side effects of the water loading, and they're pretty horrible. So like you shorten your heart's lifespan, because you shorten your heart's lifespan, you do a lot of really dangerous shit to your body. But the water loading people think is the safer part of the weight cut. It's actually probably the worst part, especially because you start destroying your kidneys, nephrons, which don't ever come back because you're over flooding your body with more water, which turns the pH of your kidneys a bit more fucked up. And then when you take that water away and your body keeps trying to pee it out if it's there, it's now like pushing really thick goo through a thing that should be thinking it's going to be pushing like, water. So your heart has to struggle a lot more. A lot of bad things happen. So I had to figure out a way to do that whole process easier. And I've always like, if I wake up on weight, or even if I have a little bit of weight to cut, I don't look gaunt. Or you've seen me at my weigh-ins. Yeah. I've never looked like I was on death's door, but like, especially the Martin Fraser one, I looked completely fine, but that was the most amount of weight I've cut in 4 days. That was like 94 to 84 in 4 days. And I wasn't like, staying away from the bad food. I ate a kilo's worth of pork ribs with the glaze and everything on the Wednesday. I was eating, but it's like, yeah, I do it properly, and I do enough research, and I've also talked to a nutritionist and picked details about the mechanisms of the weight cutting in general, and then made it work for my system. And
do you think that it's part of any genetics?
No, because I've had other fighters doing it. People who struggle making weight, I've had them follow it and make weight relatively easily.
Oh,
the issue is like once they made weight easily, they assume making weight is easy in general, and then they just try to like add their own little spins into it. Like, I'm gonna eat this and eat this. I had one of my teammates literally, as his rehydration plan, ate an entire fucking packet of hot Toffees, and I'm like, okay, good luck with that. Fair to say he did regain all the weight.
How low could you go, do you reckon?
If I was trying to Alex Pereira the shit out of myself, I can get to 155.
You reckon?
But that's the point where my body would actually have like ill effects. That's the point where it's like, I'd be just bigger. I would literally, the sole advantage I'd have is I get to like put my weight on smaller people, but that's it.
And you'd be you'd probably be chinnier and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, way more chinny. I think I'd have lots of. I'd also have to like probably, because what I do is like, if I do it well and I do it like being strict, I can wake up on weight, which means I'll wake up close to 155, and then I'll actually have to jump into a sauna to get to 155, and that extra process would probably fucking make them chinny and ruin cardio and all kinds of other shit.
What do you walk around at?
Depends. When are you asking? Fight camp, non-fight camp, might have a fight, might not have a fight.
Average. Are you what? You'd be what? 89, 90.
Okay, so after the Cam Ralston fight, maybe 1 week later, I was 99.
So you get big.
Yeah. If I don't have a fight coming up and there's no restrictions on what I'm doing, I'm a vacuum cleaner for food.
Jeez.
As you can clearly see, I'll just start eating. It just comes. It just piles on.
Well,
but
I was gonna say what I want to ask you is we talked about Jackson, obviously the weight cut as well. I want to talk. We always break down the mentality of fighting. Don't you have another fight booked July 12th or whatever with Winners Circle?
Yeah, playing junior Mo.
Yeah.
Oh, Mo. Yeah.
Oh, Junior Mo. How do you think mentally, having 2 fights in a row booked, do you think that kind of makes you kind of look past who you're fighting and all that?
No, I've got 1 fight, Jackson Weir White.
No, but you got 2 fights.
On paper. But in here, I've got 1 fight, Jackson Weir White. If that fight goes well, then I've got another fight with Junior Mo. So it's it doesn't even.
But then if you lose, yeah, but if you lose Jackson, you still have Junior.
Maybe not. Junior might be too fat to pull out. Junior might get hurt. That's the other thing. Is even if I only had Junior, I can't factor in Junior till fight. Because it's just people pull out, people get hurt. Kit Campbell was about to retire because of how bad it is to find matchups. So it's yeah, I count shit and I train towards it, and then it's literal blind hope. Even right now, there's still most of my mind is pessimistic. Jackson's not gonna show up. But when fight week happens and he's there and we look each other in the eye, that's when my mind ticks over to I have a fight with Jackson Weir White. This is happening now.
Is that frustrating?
Yes, but the more frustrating was when I used to I have a fight, and then the guy pulls out, and then it's oh fuck, I don't have a fight. What am I gonna do? What are my plans? It's better now, just you're gonna be frustrated one way or the other. I'd rather have the frustration of staying level at I don't have a fight till I see the guy, versus the frustration of fully mentally committing to yippee, I got a fight, and then the guy gets injured, falls out, or anything happens, and now I don't have a fight.
Okay, so you look at it more as de-risking it of getting fights rather than kind of going, I think I'm going to run through everyone, so I'm going to book heaps of fights. It's more about I feel like all of these fights might fall out, and then I'll have one backup.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Because history says that second thing is usually what happens. You can have 6 fights in a year and book them all and be set and be gung-ho and happy, and literally all 6 of them will completely pull out.
Don't you feel like a dick then if you get chinned and then you have to pull out against Junior? Don't you then feel like a dick?
Even if I get chinned, I wouldn't pull out against Junior.
No, but you might have to, medically.
I'll pull God. Nah. Usually, maybe there's a little bit of arrogance somewhere around there as well, which is just I won't. But other than that, it's just no. I don't see it that way. I don't think so, because you just want to fight. 3 weeks in, Junior knows I have a fight. The promotion knows I have a fight. It's more like that. It's everyone involved knows what's going on. There isn't the idea that I might get chinned isn't a new idea. Even Winner's Circle, the promoter actively was hey, I'm oh, how come, where's the contract, et cetera, and he's I'm checking with medicals in case you get not cleared, et cetera. So everyone knows if you're booking 2 fights back to back, everyone kind of has the idea okay, second one might not happen. Same thing happened with Connor Wood, where I was supposed to fight Shuriken, but that was 3 weeks before Sam Dobb.
Yeah.
And for 2 months ago, I had gotten knocked out by Darcy Bendy. So it was he could just get knocked out again, and now we don't have a fight. And I told them I'm not committing. I'm committing to the fight, but I might be hurt, or I might not even be hurt. I might just not be able to do the fight. And they were okay, as long as we know and everything, et cetera, et cetera. And then got out of that fight pretty unscathed, and it was okay, turn around, let's go do the other one. So it's as long as everyone knows, people can prepare for what they need to prepare for and get ready for. Also, it's not I'm setting up a fucking welterweight championship fight. on the back end of this fight. It's like the stakes aren't crazy high.
Yeah.
It's just a fist fight. Like, he's gonna find many fist fights if I pull. Like, believe me, it's not that hard to find fist fights right now.
Yeah. I don't know. You've got a unique way of going about it because, you know, sometimes you do go out there and you do get chinned, and sometimes you absolutely lay a whooping, and
Not
you're the
recently.
same. Yeah,
I haven't been chinned recently. Since I've turned this ship around on the getting chinned, Cam did not chin.
Yes. Now just beaten
That's all that matters.
for a long period of time.
You just
would you rather that, or would you rather get chinned?
no, I don't want to get chinned. I'd rather get decisioned like 15 times in a row than get chinned.
Yeah, but then you get to be like, oh nah, he caught me. You know, where like Cam, you're like, nah, he beat me.
No, I used to use the other excuse of like, I just go out on my shield, man. I come out to fight, gung ho, and some of these people come out for decisions. Meanwhile, in reality, it's like, shit, I made a left when I should have made a right, and he knocked me the fuck out. But I'm like, nah, I came here to fight. I never have a boring fight. That was my excuse for a long time. Like, I never have a boring fight, just to excuse the fact that I was getting my ass kicked.
No, you've never had.
It's
honestly,
true, but like, it's like I'd rather not have a boring fight with me winning.
No, the way you've done this career ever since we started, it's been quite unique. You're like, I want to fight the top guys. I'm like, you're insane. And then literally like within a year, you've fought everyone that you can fight that you need to drop down a weight class.
Yeah, that's the point. It's like, I don't get it. I don't get what happened with the sport because I've been reading a lot about like people in comment sections and in general talking about like the sport is in a decline, even though we're at possibly one of the highest skilled points in the sport. Like everyone has so much skill. And it's just like, I think we're slowly forgetting it's sports entertainment, but also at the same time, people don't want, there's not many fighters left. There's people who have brands to market, if that makes sense. It's like, it's do as the best you can to get to the UFC as quickly as you can. Even when you get to the UFC, it's all about like your brand, and which is fair enough, you know, make as much money as you can, make as much branding as you can. But that guy who that Robbie Lawler type of guy who, like, if you told him that there's a guy in the back over there who thinks he can beat you up, he wants to meet you in the parking lot. You know, Robbie Lawler's right there with his belts on. Like, who wants to swang? But like, I think that guy is going away a fair bit and is being replaced with the person who wants to really make their Instagram look real, their social medias and stuff look real good. And you can tell.
Yeah. There used to be like you used to respect every single person that stepped in there. And I'm not saying you don't, but like there's a few like even amateurs these days where you're like,
you could tell it was turning that way from the amateurs. It's like when amateurs are like ducking and picking and choosing fights severely, maybe sometimes here or there, but like severely to the point of like, I need to have an immaculate record, and it's solely for, and they've got like, let's say they've got like 20K Instagram followers as an amateur, and the whole thing is fighting, and they're giving out fight tutorials. I'm like, we have amateurs giving out fight tutorials, and they're Instagram influencers. What the fuck are we doing? like it really is just like slowly becoming like, it's not slowly, it's pretty quickly becoming a like, it's like a shit show for the most part. It's like, dude, you want to fight? Isn't the whole point you want to fight? Like, I thought the whole idea was like when I was going to be a pro, I was looking at John, I was looking at Kit, I was looking at these guys with like admiration, like, holy shit, could you imagine what a fight would feel like? Even when I fought John, it didn't last that long, but it's a memory in my head, you know, as much of it as I can remember. It's a memory in my head that is like there forever, that I took on John fucking Frazier in his prime. Not like, you know, you pick and choose, you figure out here and there, and then I post on Instagram like I took him on in my prime, but it's like it's the glory of it, the heart of the sport is kind of being lost and washed away with like the athleteness of it.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And it's like guys that like, look, if there's someone that likes eating, or there's someone that opens up a restaurant, there's two different things, right? There's some guys that like fighting, and there's some people that want to fight career. And if you want to fight career, you can't just fight anyone anymore. It's not how it works. And I feel like the mid-tier guys, I feel like everyone calls it quits quicker. So everyone that is left in the game, which I actually think is a good thing, but it hurts the sport on our level, right? So everyone that is still in the game, who is about 9 or 10 fights in, who is still actively competing, I would say almost has a legitimate shot to get to the next level, right? Where you couldn't say that
Oh yeah.
10 years ago, right? But then again, same thing. You're either 2 and 0 or you're 10 and 0 or like 10 or 15 fights and you've got a legit chance to get to the next level. So I think the mid-tier guys are leaving. If you haven't noticed, a lot of those guys that were 4 and 2, 4 and 4 were bouncing because they don't want
Yeah.
to fight. They want to fight career and they quickly call it.
Yeah. It's like people want to like there was I don't know if it was Anthony Mackie or someone who said like the difference between people who wanted to be actors and people who wanted to be celebrities. And I
Yeah.
think that's happening in fighting. There's a lot of people who want to be celebrities. And when that record starts skewing
Yeah.
away from, oh, I could become the baddest killer on the planet by like celebrity, they leave immediately. And that's kind of the best sign that like, oh yeah, you weren't ever in it for wanting to be a fighter. You just wanted to smash 6 people and then sell your celebrity status. And it's still a fight. It's
Yeah.
still getting in a cage, but it's like the whole point of fighting that made it like admirable was the fact that like you're pushing through adversity. Losing is adversity. Coming back from losing is adversity. Like
Yeah.
with the current climate the way it is, Muhammad Ali wouldn't have existed because he would have quit after a certain amount of time after he'd lost a fight to like Joe Frazier.
No,
He'd
but
be
we're
like, "Oop, nope, I guess I'm not a celebrity anymore. Time to leave."
but we're
And it's
also
like,
seeing
we lose all our best fighters.
yeah, we're seeing though what happens to Muhammad Ali. And I think that's the thing is people are starting to pull up stumps quicker because they're going and like if say Eternal was paying, they're doing really well and paying well and everything. But if they were paying you 50 grand a fight, right? Which is wild, right? If they were, so many guys would still be fighting. But you've got this like nah, but you've got
Here's
this
the part
little
where it's like some people would be fighting because they need the money. The people who don't need the money but were still like fighting a mid tier and all that would have quit the moment it shifted apart from they could make it to the left level or like have that celebrity career. Because you can tell when it's like some people genuinely it was just about the celebrity. And they might retire after losing a few decision fights. They didn't get chin, their body isn't breaking down. They just kind of like, oh, I guess I just won't be able to beat all these guys. Okay, and they quit, and you're like, but that I understand what we're going at was like 2 different points. Like the people retiring because their body is slowly quitting on them, and they're smarter now to hear it and listen to their body and be like, hey, fighting is whatever. I've got a family I want to raise in the future. Those people are. That's one side of the sport that I'm like fully agreeing. Like, yeah, you shouldn't be giving your life to the sport. You're only going to be in this bit for 10 years, whether you like it or not. You might as well not come out of that 10 years with like Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
So it's or like, oh, you can't walk. But then there's the other people who are like, they're not losing, they're not breaking, body's not breaking out. They just they lost a few fights, a few close fights here and there, a bit of adversity here and there. And the moment that adversity started leaning into what they were like trying to celebritize, they quit. And it's like, you'll see guys who quit after one loss and it's a decision loss. And you're like, you lost a decision. Dude, it's MMA. It's not boxing. Boxing, you can pad your record till you're fucking 50 and 0. MMA has so many ways for you to lose. You can be the absolute best fighter on the night, better than anyone ever. You can walk out there and slip on the fucking Pepsi sign and get knocked out. Like, the guy could shoot a double leg and you might defend it weird and your knee might blow out. Like there's a million ways to lose this sport and a million ways to win it. But to retire after losing once and it's just a decision loss or something along those lines, where it wasn't like you took massive damage. That's the point where I'm like, why were you actually ever in it? Like it's one thing if you've had a long ass career and you're trying to make it to the next level and it's becoming a struggle and it's harder for you to even find fights in general and your passion for it is going, because that's the point. 10 years after 10 years, if you're still in it after 10 years, you're either stupid winning or you're hurt or you're just pushing through it. That first 10 years is like that decides whether you're there for the passion or whether you're there just for you wanted to be a celebrity. Because it's like the people in the longer end of the career, the ones who are like retiring, the Stitz, the Kit Campbells, the Caleb Rideouts, they've been there for a while. And it's not just the fights they've had. Even if they've had 4 fights, if they've been a pro for 10 years, they've been in pro training camps 10 years. taking pro damage for 10 years over and over again. It's a long ass time to abuse your body and sacrifice your family for. So those guys getting burnt out and deciding, I'm done, that makes sense. The guys who are fresh and lose a 1 or 2 fights and then decide, I'm done, I'm like, did you really think you were John Jones? Was that the idea? You were just gonna run through everyone because you're the special one? Like, he's special, but both his brothers are in the NFL. So unless both your brothers were in the NFL, I don't think you can count yourself as that special. It's like you're signing up for a sport where you're gonna get your ass kicked at some point, whether you like it or not. If you can't handle that, don't sign up for the sport.
That's a very fair point. And mate, speaking of your fight, June 21st, I mean, Jackson Weir White, let's say it does happen because you're alluding to it won't, but
I think it will, but I got to stay even, keel. I got to stay even. Yeah, I got to stay even.
How's it?
It's there till I see him.
How's it go down?
God, I was looking like when I was coming down to 77, I was looking like fucking really good. I'm still looking really good. Now I'm just heavier again, and like I can put some weight into my shots and have a bit more power and fast. But I think I can put a pretty hard pace on. I want to do the opposite of what I did when I was at middleweight, which I started fairly slow at middleweight. I want to go really, really hard out and just see, because the gas tank feels amazing. Feels like I could fight for fucking days at this point. I don't even know. The fact that like when I was bringing the weight down, I was thinking I'm just gonna bring it down by like kind of watching what happens, and then I'll have to diet properly and get the lettuce out and everything and eat nothing but air. And I didn't, and the weight dropped under 90. Told me like, you've been a fat middleweight for way too long. You're a fat welterweight really for a long time, because I've never had to diet down, bring it down to the weight I need to be for me to cut to 77. But the weight just came off, and without it, I'm faster. I can wrestle more. And then I realized I've been just carrying this excess weight. I've been wrestling with the 5 kilos of fat or like a backpack on, and I've been doing all these things, and it's been making me more tired faster. It's been making me slower. With all that gone, I'm faster, stronger, hitting harder. So I'm hoping I can take him out. I'm not hoping. I'm banking on taking him. I'm coming out hard. I don't want to. I think the whole like experimental phase of my career, this, that, and the third, I want to put that in the back burner. I'm coming out hard.
Well, do you have a prediction?
Pain.
All right. I love it. Mate, I'll let you go. I'm very excited to have a chat and hopefully see you in Queensland, and excited to see you and Jackson Weir White and then Junior Mo and then whatever other fights you've got booked. So best of luck,
I
mate.
want the guy who fought Khan Diarra after Junior.
Chile?
Cam, make it happen.
The Chile
Yes,
guy?
I want to do Muay Thai with him. I literally won't shoot a takedown. I will literally just fully fight him standing. That seems like it'd be so much fun.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll book it.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
Yeah, I'll see you, bro.
See you, bro.